Titans fans, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in and watching. We're going to be breaking down the Tennessee Titans versus New England Patriots preseason game that just happened on Friday, where the Tennessee Titans won 23-7, and they improved their preseason record this year to go to 2-1. Next up is our first regular season game against the Saints, but that's not for a couple weeks. This video, we're going to be breaking that down. We're going to get into the kicking situation, how Malik Willis did. We're going to get into some roster cuts. We're going to get into who kind of stood out on the offensive side of the ball. A couple players stood out to me. But first, we got to talk about this defense. Wow. Okay, this defense, guys, they allowed 2 passing yards the first quarter, the entire first quarter. 2 passing yards, 9 rushing yards, 0 third down conversions allowed, 2 sacks, and 1 turnover, which was a fumble, and we recovered it. That is just insane. We might be seeing one of the best Titans defenses this year that we'll have ever witnessed. And the Tennessee Titans have rolled out some pretty good defenses over past years. And I've been saying it, guys, that this defense is top 10 with the potential to be top 5. I'm going to say it right now. This is a top 5 defense with potential to be top 3. They're all over the place. They're all over. They allowed 24 passing yards all game. That is I just can't get over these stats. 55 rushing yards all game. Caleb Murphy had another sack, and he also forced a fumble, and I think he's a lock for the 4th edge rusher. This guy's been tormenting freaking offenses all preseason. I think this guy has counted to 4 or 5 sacks in the preseason. Danico Autry is going to be a problem again this year. He's healthy. Our defense is healthy. He had a strip sack on Zappi, and PV recovered it. That was the strip sack fumble that we recovered in the first quarter that I mentioned earlier. And guys, we didn't even roll out. We didn't even roll out guys like Simmons or Key. We didn't even roll them out. That's insane. This defense could be. They probably would have allowed no yards in the first quarter on anything. Jeez Louise, this is just insane, guys. I'm so excited for this. This defense is legit. Harold Landry looked good in his first return to action. He showed some bend. He was able to dip, and he looks good, guys. He looks healthy. He looks fresh. The secondary looked very good as well. Murphy Bunting was all over the place. I like this guy. I think he's going to be a good corner for us this year. Like I said, the secondary was good. Linebackers were good, especially Azeez Al-Shaair. This guy's going to be a problem in the middle. He can come up and thump you, and he did in the first quarter on the first drive, just stuff the run. I absolutely love this guy already. I am a huge Azeez Al-Shaair fan. You guys got to remember where he came from. He came from the Niners, where he was sitting behind guys like Fred Warner, right? So this guy's a stud. I'm so happy we got him, and he can hit you. The secondary looked very good, like I said. Tight coverage as well. Loved seeing it. And like I said, we didn't even have guys like Simmons and Key out there. This defense could have been even better. And like I said, I've been teasing it all year. Top 10 defense, potentially be top 5. It's a lock. It's locked in. Top 5 defense, guys. This defense is just going to be insane. I am super excited to see this defense, and I'm sure a lot of the offenses in the NFL are not excited to see this defense at all. Now, a couple of guys that stood out to me on the offense were Tyjae Spears again, and he had just an absolutely nasty stiff arm. Now you had to deal with Henry and Spears throwing you the stiff arms. They're going to posterize guys, and man, what a compliment Tyjae Spears is going to be. He's the RB2. He deserves to be. I knocked Rancarthon when he drafted this guy initially, and I apologize because I thought we needed a wide receiver. Good thing I'm just a couch GM and not a real one. But I'm excited to see Spears, guys. I really am. This guy's electric. Carice Jackson, he also stood out to me this preseason. This game and this preseason. He had a 26-yard touchdown catch that Malik Willis, and I'll get into that a little later, that Malik Willis threw to him. And this guy has just been standing out all preseason. I think he ends up on the practice squad most likely, even though he's been a standout for us. But with some injuries to wide receivers, we don't know the health status of Phillips or Burks right now, really. So, hopefully Burks plays week 1, but Phillips definitely will not. Maybe we keep a guy like this, and I think he deserves it. The offensive line, still a question mark. Brunskill did leave the game, and we have yet to hear what is going on with him. That's worrisome because the right side is the part that's worrying me. This line still needs time to gel, and we might not be happy with this line, guys. When the line comes out week 1, and we're playing a good defense like the Saints, I might be with you, and I'll be like, this line sucks. What the heck? Just give them time to gel, okay? We need to give them time to gel, and it's a work in progress, and these guys need time. They need time. The left side of the line is good, but it's like I said, Brunskill, who knows what's going on with him right now? I don't think it's anything serious, but we have Hubbard at right tackle, and that's worrisome because he looks like he's a little bit of a liability right now. And I imagine for most of the regular season, while NPF is sidelined from a suspension, we're probably going to be keeping a tight end on the right side to help Chip, to help Hubbard out. But guys, we're going to be, when NPF comes back, I have a feeling we're going to be we're going to know that he's been gone. When he comes back, we're going to be like, man, we miss you. And I hope I'm wrong about that, but I really do. I'm worried about the right side of the offensive line right now. Like I said, I think we're going to keep a tight end, help Chip. Now, Malik Willis, man, he made some throws that just made me be like, what are you doing? And I was like, I was worried, right? He started off 1 of 4. But then the thing I love about this guy is he finished 14 of 15. And at one point, he completed 10 straight passes. So he makes you like want to rip your hair out. And then he's like, wow, that was a great throw. And the 2 interceptions were bad. They were bad. But he had 2 touchdowns that were very impressive. The touchdown pass to Jackson was awesome. Just a laser. He rolled right and then threw just a laser to Jackson while he was on the move. And, he makes some mistakes, but then he comes back with some wow moments. Like I said, he's learning, he's growing, he's developing. I am excited for this guy. I really am. He only had 20 yards rushing, and you can tell they wanted to emphasize throw the ball, right? Because he only had 20 yards rushing. We know he can run for more than that. They wanted him to throw the ball. And what made me believe that they actually wanted him to throw the ball more was because Andre Dillard, our starting left tackle, played the whole first half. I think they wanted to keep him upright. They didn't want him to get hit. They wanted to see what he's got. Remember, guys, Willis doesn't have Derrick Henry back there, Traylon Burks, DeAndre Hopkins. He hasn't had them. So, we don't have our biggest weapons out there either. And then many of the starting linemen were on the sideline for most of the preseason as well. And we saw him do well the first preseason game when he had a starting offensive line out there for the first series. So you guys got to remember, he's not getting he doesn't have the weapons. We're not super deep at wide receiver. We have some exciting young guys, but they're not proven. And then the offensive line, we don't have depth there. We barely have a starting caliber offensive line, in my opinion. We don't have the greatest depth on the offensive line at all. I'm excited for them. I think they're going to be improved this year, but I'm worried about that right side, like I said. So we're throwing Malik Willis out there, a guy that, is raw still. He's a work in progress, and we're not giving him the greatest line or receiving options. So you guys got to remember that when we talk about Malik Willis. You have to remember that. Now, he ended up going 15 of 20 for 211 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and he had 102.3 quarterback rating, which is good. I think one more offseason, and this guy might just shock people. Vrabel still is not named the QB2, and I'm a little curious about that because we didn't see much of Will Levis, even though I would have loved to. It sucks he got hurt, but I thought for sure after this performance that Willis came out here, I thought for sure he claimed the QB2 spot. So we're going to see about this going forward, but I'm excited for Malik Willis. Hope you guys are as too. He gets a lot of criticism and hate, and he was very raw and he was not very good his rookie season, but he wasn't supposed to see the field. So you got to get that out of your head. Sometimes I had trouble doing it too. I'm human just like you guys. It's, it's hard to get out of your head. It's hard to be like, man, after seeing that, you're like, oh, this guy's going to be a stud franchise quarterback. And then you see him throw the picks. And you're like, oh, here we go. He's not going to do well. It's easy to get your head, your mindset into that. But like I said, you guys got to remember, he doesn't have the weapons out there. He's still raw. We knew that when we drafted him. He wasn't supposed to see the field last year. Let's see what this guy's got with another offseason under his belt and then some competition with Will Levis next year. Let's just see what he's got, okay? I hope this guy ends up coming out. And someone commented, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, but he said this is the next Steve McNair. Remember, Steve McNair didn't start off hot either. And this is not the greatest quarterback that's played for the Tennessee Titans. If you want to say Oilers, you do Moon, but for the Tennessee Titans franchise, that'd be Steve McNair. So give him time, guys. Give him time. Now, so far, the Titans have released kicker Michael Badgley, tight end Justin Rigg, corner Alonzo Davis, interior lineman Jimmy Murray, offensive tackle Zach Johnson, and wide receiver Gavin Holmes. Now, they join already previously cut players, Chris Jackson, Jamarco Jones, Zach McLeod, and Jacob Copeland, who was signed by the Vikings. Now, if my math is correct, we're sitting at a roster count of about 83 players, and we have to get to 53 by this Tuesday, August 29th at 4 p.m. So we have to cut about 30 people, guys. And that's a lot. That really is. Now, one of the guys I mentioned that we cut was Michael Badgley. And I did say I was going to get into the kicker position here. I did, right? Now, Michael Badgley went 3 of 4 and made both extra points. But he probably should have went 1 for 4 because 2 of his makes bounced off the dang upright and went in. He probably should have went 1 for 4, not 3 for 4. And I figured he's going to be gone after this game. I was not impressed. And sure enough, yep, he's gone. He's cut today. And in our last video, I did say I wanted Gould maybe. I like to first look at him. Came from San Francisco. He's a free agent right now. And, we have those San Francisco 49ers ties with Rand Carthon. I also want to keep an eye on Nick Folk with the Patriots, and he did not kick against us. So that makes me curious there. Chad Ryland, who they drafted to compete against Nick Folk, he made the only extra point kick of the game for them. So I'm curious about that. I think Folk's on his way out. Maybe the Patriots want to try and trade him. We'll see. But I want to keep an eye on Hopkins with the Chargers. He went 1 for 1, and the guy that he's competing with, Cameron Dicker, went 2 for 2. Now, the Panthers also just released Matthew Wright, and I think this is a guy we should bring in and see what he's got. He is 27 years old, and he is 40 for 46 on field goals, 35 of 37 for extra points, and his career long is a 59-yarder. I want to bring this guy in to compete as well. There's some kickers out there. I'm not worried about us cutting Michael Badgley. To be honest with you, I think I'd have been more worried if Michael Badgley was on our team. Now, that's where I was going to end the video, guys, after the cuts. Like I said, we have about 30 cuts left to make. And remember, we're not the only team cutting. All 32 teams are. So, and it happens all the time. We get down to our 53-man roster, and then so-and-so gets cut, and it's like, wow, that guy got cut. Then you want to go get him. So even after the 53-man roster on Tuesday, you guys got to remember, there's going to be more moves even after that once all these guys start getting cut. And I think that's one of the reasons we let go of the kicker. We know there's going to be more out there. A lot of teams aren't going to sit there and hold on to 2 kickers. You have 53 spots on your roster. You're not holding on to 2 freaking kickers. Come on. I mean, if most teams had it their way, they'd probably have the kicker be the kicker and the punter. I mean, that's 2 spots for guys that don't play a lot. They're important positions. If you have a bad punter and a bad kicker, I mean, man, you're going to be in trouble. But, they're not holding on to 2 roster spots for a kicker. But watch New England do it and try and trade Nick Folk. But there's going to be guys out there that I think we should go after. I'm glad that, we gave Badgley a shot. He struggled in practice one day, did better the next. He's gone. I'm okay with it. Like I said, we have about 30 spots to go still. We'll see how that shapes out. And we'll get into that, later on this week when that does happen. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and tighten up, guys. We'll talk soon.